Good morning, friends. Today in this lecture we study the electric intensity due to point charge. That means here we have to consider a point charge in air, and this point charge produces the electric field in its around space. Then in that space or in the region of electric field we have to consider any point, and at that point we have to calculate the value of electric intensity. So we consider a charge plus Q at point O in air, right? Then we consider the point P at distance R from charge plus Q. Okay, where we have to calculate the value of electric intensity. Now when we place charge at point O in air, then this charge produces the electric field in the surrounding space. So in that region we consider point P, and at point P we calculate the value of electric intensity. So this point P is situated at distance R from origin O. Okay. Then for this we consider a take charge, that is Q naught, again at point P. So according to Coulomb's law, there exists a force of attraction or repulsion between these two charges, and this force is given by equation F equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught upon R square into R cap. So this force is in the vector form, so we have taken here R cap. Okay, so this is the value of force between these two charges. Then according to definition of electric intensity, the electric intensity E bar equal to F naught F bar upon Q naught. So here we have to substitute the value of force from this equation, right? So I write here value of F bar 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q naught upon R square into R cap, and divided by this Q naught. Therefore Q naught get cancelled, and electric intensity at point P, which is at distance R, can be written as E bar equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R square into R cap. Okay, so here we substitute this R cap as R bar upon mod R bar. So we get this E bar equal to 1 upon 4 pi epsilon naught Q upon R cube into R bar. So this is the value of electric intensity at any point in the region of electric field. Okay. Then next we calculate the electric intensity due to a group charges. So take care. The next point we consider electric intensity due to a group of charges. Okay. So for that we have to consider the number of charges, say Q1, Q2, Q3 up to say Qn. So these all charges produces the electric field in its around. Then we consider a take charge Q naught. So the distance of this charge Q naught from Q1 we take, that is 0, 1, then 0, 2, 0, 3 and up to 0 n. So if we consider a charge Q naught, here we have to calculate the electric intensity due to all other charges. So for that, first we consider the net force acting on charge Q naught due to these all other charges. Therefore, total force acting on charge Q naught due to these all other charges can be written as F naught bar equal to F naught 1 bar plus F naught 2 bar plus up to 2 plus F naught n bar. That means this is the total force acting on charge Q naught due to all other charges. Okay. So from this force we can write the electric intensity at point Q naught, or we consider this Q naught as a charge and it may be placed say at point P. Okay. Therefore, electric intensity, we write from this equation, that is electric intensity E bar equal to F naught bar upon Q naught. That is equal to, right, simultaneously F naught 1 bar upon Q naught plus F naught 2 bar upon Q naught plus up to 2 plus F naught n bar upon Q naught. Then substituting the values of these all terms, that means we write this E bar equal to F naught bar upon Q naught equal to F naught 1 bar upon Q naught plus F naught 2 bar upon Q naught up to F naught n bar upon Q naught. So directly write electric intensity E bar equal to, that is E1 bar plus E2 bar plus E3 bar plus up to 2 plus En bar. Okay. So these all have the value, that is this is E1 bar, this is E2 bar, this is E3 bar up to say En bar. So this equation gives the resultant intensity at point P where we have to place the charge Q naught. Okay. So this is the last equation, right? The next point we consider continuous distribution of charges. So next point is electric field. Electric field due to continuous distribution of charges. Okay. So we consider this point, then we have to consider the continuous distribution of charges along a line on the surface and within the volume. If there are continuous distribution of charges along the line in the volume and on the surface, then total charge in this case is given in terms of charge densities, right? So if we consider continuous distribution of charges, then total charge that can be written in terms of the charge densities. Okay. So there are three types of charge densities. First we consider line charge density, second one surface charge density, and third one is the volume charge density. Okay, line charge density, surface charge density, and volume charge density. Now, as we see, what is meant by line charge density? We take first line charge density. Okay, so we consider here a line on which there is continuous distribution of charges, that is plus 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 like this. So we consider here line, and on that line there is a continuous distribution of charges. Then it is called as the line charge density, and it is denoted by lambda. Okay, so we define this line charge density. Line charge density means if there are continuous distribution of charges along the line, then it is called as the line charge density. Okay, so the next definition of line charge density, that means we write here lambda of R1. Okay, so line charge density is nothing but the charge per unit length. Okay, it is nothing but the charge per unit length. So right here lambda of R1 equal to limit delta L is to 0 delta Q upon delta L. This is the line charge density. Okay, so this is the formula of line charge density, and this line charge density is measured in unit. What is the unit? Charge in coulomb and length in meter. So unit of this line charge density is coulomb per meter. Okay, so this is the line charge density, and it is defined as the charge per unit length. Okay, the next we consider, that is the surface charge density. Take care, surface charge density. For this we consider the surface on which there is continuous distribution of charges. So we consider like this surface, right, and there is continuous distribution of charges, right. When there is continuous distribution of charges on the surface, then it is called as the surface charge density, and this surface charge density is denoted by symbol sigma. Okay, this is denoted by symbol sigma. Then we will define this surface charge density. Surface charge density is the ratio of charge per unit surface or charge per unit area. So we consider here charge Q and surface of area say ds. Okay, surface of area ds. Then the sigma of R1 can be written as limit delta S tends to 0 delta Q upon delta S, right, that is charge per unit area, or we can say that charge per unit surface. So this is the surface charge density, and again we write the SI unit. So SI unit of surface charge density, that is equal to coulomb per meter square, because this is the area and it is measured in meter square and charge is measured in coulomb. So this is the surface charge density, which is nothing but the charge per unit area. Okay, and last we take the volume charge density. Right here, volume charge density. So in order to define volume charge density, then we consider the volume of any shape. So I take again, this is the volume of any space, right? Then we take continuous distribution of charges within the volume like this, right? This is the amount of charges which are continuously distributed within the volume V, right? So when there is a continuous distribution of charges in the volume, then it is called as the volume charge density, and it is denoted by symbol rho. Therefore, write this formula: rho of r bar equal to limit delta rho tends to, right here, volume V. Limit delta V tends to 0, delta Q upon delta V. Because here is continuous distribution of charges within the volume V, to take limit delta V tends to 0, delta Q upon delta V. So in other words, to define volume charge density is the charge per unit volume, or the ratio of charge with volume. Okay, so again we write the SI unit, and SI unit is coulomb per cubic meter, right? So this is the volume charge density, right? The next point, we consider electric flux. What is electric flux? Electric flux, and they are denoted by symbol phi. Now Latin word, that means flux is the Latin word, and its meaning is to flow. That is the flow of fluid or flow of liquid is the flux. So in case of electrostatic, we consider here flow of electric field vectors that are passing through the surface having some area. Okay, so flux is Latin word, its meaning is to flow. So in electrostatic we consider flow of electric field vectors, that is the electric line of forces that are passing normally through area, right? So we define here what is meant by electric flux. Now electric flux means electric line of forces passing normally through the surface of area A, and these are called, or it is called as the electric flux. Okay, so small amount of electric flux that are passing normally through unit area is also called as the electric flux. So for that we consider a diagram here where we have to calculate the flux, and consider here point P. This is the direction of electric intensity, and this is normal, that is normal brought to the area, that is denoted by ds bar, and this is the angle theta. Okay, so here we consider the electric field region, and we take point P within that. So this is the direction of electric intensity, and electric line of forces passing through unit area or through the surface. So we consider this surface and electric line of forces that are passing through this surface, and this electric line of forces are normal to the surface. That means when they pass through the surface, they always pass normally. Okay, so this is called the electric flux. So in other words, we also define electric flux means the product of magnitude of electric intensity and area of the surface, right? So now we denote small amount of electric flux passing through small area of surface, that is ds bar. So here we write electric flux is the product of magnitude of electric intensity and area of the surface, that is ds bar. So right here d phi e equal to E bar dot ds bar, right? This is equal to E bar dot ds bar. Write this d phi e equal to E ds cos theta, right? Where theta is the angle between direction of electric intensity and area vector ds bar. Okay, so when we consider the direction of electric intensity and area vector are in the same direction, that means if we consider this area is very small, so if you consider here area is very small, then direction of E bar and ds bar are in the same direction. So take this theta equal to 0 and cos 0 is 1. So simply we write this d phi e equal to EDS, right? Now here this d phi e is small amount of electric flux passing normally through the small area, right? Then if we want to calculate total electric flux passing through this whole area, right, then that can be calculated by integrating this equation, right? So we write here total electric flux passing through closed surface, right? This is the closed surface, right? Total electric flux passing through closed surface, that is integration over closed surfaces, right here E bar dot ds bar, that is equal to closed integration over surfaces EDS cos theta, right? So here we have to define what is meant by electric flux. It is denoted by letter phi. Small amount of electric flux is denoted by letter d phi e, and total electric flux is the phi e. Now here you have to give the definition of electric flux, and electric flux is nothing but the electric line of forces passing normally through unit area, or in other words we give the definition in terms of the product, and electric flux is the product of magnitude of electric intensity and surface area. Okay, so this is the definition of electric flux, right? So this electric flux is measured in unit Newton meter square per coulomb. This is the SI unit of electric flux. Okay, so with this lecture I stop here. Thanks to all.